Hi, I'm Bill Singer, and I'm with Kenwood Management. And today we're going to talk with some of Kenwood's investors and get their perspective on what it's like to invest with Kenwood and what the experience has been like. So I'm very happy to be joined by John and Ellen Bosworth. John and Ellen, thank you so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Well, let me jump right in with some questions
Sure.
for you. First, could you share a little bit about your background as an investor and what led you to think about investing in commercial real estate?
Well, I think when you're early on in your life, you know, it's very natural to get involved in the stock market, and so you do that, and you're starting to build up some savings, and you do that for a while. But then you realize you get some sound advice from others that perhaps you ought to diversify. And so commercial real estate, or just real estate in general, comes to the forefront. And so looking at that, we decided that this would be a good place to invest. We had some family members that had already been invested with Kenwood, and they liked that opportunity. And so because we had that chance to do that, we got involved, and we've been very happy with that opportunity ever since.
Great. What were some of your initial perceptions or concerns about investing in commercial real estate to begin with?
Well, my initial concern was the long-term nature of commercial real estate investments, and that has really held true. Your money is tied up, for a relatively long period of time, and you have to be prepared for that. And so that ended up working really well within our financial picture and our financial plan. And we have really appreciated the distributions along the way. So that was my concern. And it's true, they're generally long-term investments, but we have felt that they have fit really well within our portfolio as a whole.
Right. You had mentioned that you knew some other people who had invested with Kenwood.
Mm-hmm.
So as you went through the process, as you went through effectively kind of vetting Kenwood, what were some of the things that you thought about?
Well, it's a family member of mine that initially recommended Kenwood, and he was a longtime investor and had worked closely with one of the principals of Kenwood. And he said that the way you operate is the way a real estate investment company should operate. Thoroughly vetting each investment opportunity and acting in a conservative way with the utmost protection of people's investment funds. And that fit our profile.
Right. Was the fact that the sponsors of Kenwood, that they also invested in the properties, was that important to you in your considerations?
Yeah, I think that's important because it suggests that there's some skin in the game, that Kenwood is part of this themselves. Then we have a little bit sense of a security in knowing that. So that's always been very important.
Right. Describe for me a bit the process about your experiences, like when Kenwood finds a new investment. How do they reach out to you? What are some of the things that you look for when you're considering investing in a new deal, for example, with Kenwood?
Well, what we like that Kenwood does is it becomes very clear from the outset that they've done a lot of research into these various properties. There's so much real estate that's out there. And from what I understand, I remember at an investor meeting one time that, from what I understand, Kenwood only tries to bring one building per year to the forefront. And so as a result of that, that suggests that they've done a lot of work to try and figure out what is going to be this year's investment opportunity. And so then when you look at the prospectus, and you can see that the clients that are within that building look solid, and so that makes you feel better than if there was just a couple of people in a building. There's a lot. So that's that kind of part of the strategy that I think that Kenwood has when they're building these portfolios for a particular building.
Right. One of Kenwood's investment focus has really been on multi-tenanted properties.
Right.
How has that kind of aligned with your thoughts on ways to invest in real estate?
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was talking about actually in that last answer, in that if you just have one or two investors in a building, that seems like it's more of a dicey proposal. But if you have multiple
tenants
in one particular building, then if, let's say, you know, things are going to happen, one or two leave, then it's not such a big problem for that building, as opposed to if one tenant is 50% of that building and they leave, not only is that harder to fill, but that's a big space to fill as well. It's harder to find a particular tenant that might fill that space. So it gives them more of a leeway for moving forward, in that they don't lose that much if someone leaves, and it's a lot easier to fill that space because it's a smaller space. So the whole thing just adds to a conservative strategy, which makes us feel more comfortable that there's not going to be a big downfall in any particular building at one time.
As you know, Kenwood typically invests kind of in it with a longer term perspective, meaning certainly more than 10 years. How does that fit in with your investment perspective, right? Because you're investing in a much longer time horizon.
Well, we planned for it. I mean, the money that we invest in your Kenwood Management Ventures in commercial real estate is sort of a slice of the pie that we dedicate to long-term investments. And as I said before, that can be a little bit daunting because your money is tied up for quite a while. But we appreciate the distributions that come along the way and found that it has been a great addition to the rest of our portfolio. We just accounted for the long-term nature of it. And we also understand that given market conditions, the timelines can change. I mean, you have to sort of be ready for that. And we felt, you know, based on the information that you provided us at the time of investment, that we were ready for it. And again, the returns along the way have been great. So
I often hear from other investors that one of the things they like the most about investing in real estate is its ability to diversify a portfolio. That it in times of uncertainty, in times of inflation, it can often be a very solid investment. How did that influence your investing decisions?
well, it influenced our investment decision in terms of the big picture of diversification. I mean, I guess I still believe that market conditions can influence commercial real estate investments and their success, and if there's any bumps along the road, but certainly not to the extent of investments in the stock market. So it certainly made us invest in commercial real estate. It influenced us because it was a different slice of the pie. And land is land. It doesn't go away. It maintains its value to some extent. And that's where we felt there was a lot of value.
I mean, I think one big test for Kenwood was during the COVID pandemic, and that had a real stress because a lot of people were working from home, and so that could have really caused a lot of the different tenants to potentially leave a particular building, and yet Kenwood forged on, and I don't think there was any significant change as a result of that. All the buildings, the percentage of filled buildings, that didn't change in a significant way. And from what I'm looking at the most recent investment newsletters, if anything, a lot of the buildings have increased their tenancy. So that's a big test, and I think Kenwood passed that. So that was good.
Right. John, you just mentioned the communication in the newsletter. As an investor, is that helpful? Do you read it? Is there good information there for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not only talking about building by building, and I read those every bit, because I certainly want to know what's going on in any of the investments that we've made. But you guys have also created these other just investment newsletters that just talk about concepts in general with investing in building and commercial buildings. And so I look at those, and so that's nice. So it's nice that you're not just so focused necessarily just on your properties, but just on investment banking or investment retail real estate in general. So yeah, appreciate that.
Ellen, can you recall a specific interaction where you were working with Kenwood that kind of reinforced your trust in the company and what they would do?
I wouldn't say there is one specific interaction, but I do really, really appreciate your accessibility. Um, if I have any questions or any concerns, I can send an email or pick up the phone and speak with one of the principals. Bill Singer is my contact. And so I always appreciate all your time. And like I said, I pick up the phone and I can speak with someone. Any concerns, any questions, a human who has skin in the game, who's involved in the management of the building, is there to answer the question. And that is really important to me. It just gives me a sense of connection, a sense of stability, and just confidence that you're there managing the investment.
Great. What advice would you give to somebody who was considering investing in real estate for the first time?
Well, I'll take that one. So, I mean, and so is my oldest son has gotten to the point now, he's in his early 30s, that he's saved some money, and so he, of course, has some investment in the stock market, but he was looking to move on to something else, and so we said, well, we have an opportunity here, and so we gave you a call, and so Daniel's already had his first investment in a building, and he enjoys reading those newsletters and seeing how it's going. So, I mean, if anything, the fact that we have our own oldest son and his initial out of stock market investment is with you guys, I think says a lot.
Great. How would you describe how investing with Kenwood has contributed to your overall financial goals and success?
How would I describe that? Well, to date, our investments with Kenwood has gone very well. We've gotten significant returns over the course of the investment. And since it's a long-term investment, it's an investment that will hopefully in a staggered way come to fruition during our retirement, and then potentially even for the next generation. And so the Kenwood real estate investments fit perfectly into that pot, allowing us to sort of have something there for the future.
Right. You just brought up the ability to put your asset, your investment in your will that your kids would then benefit from.
Right.
How much did that play into your overall thought process?
I'd say some. We're still sort of working towards retirement, and so that's our first level of need. But it makes me feel really good that if everything goes well, that will be there for our kids. So it did play a role.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to expand on something we touched upon a little bit earlier, but I think particularly some of our newer or potential investors would want to hear from you. What do you think has been kind of the most valuable part of the experience, and what do you think from a new investor's perspective they would like to hear from an experienced investor?
I'll answer that.
Okay.
And then you can go on. I would say the most valuable is the communication. Your not just the newsletters about market conditions and everything, but it's your emails with information about the progress of each investment. You talk about the ups, the downs, how you're clearly preparing for tenant vacancies, improvement of the properties, all the things that go into owning, managing a real estate investment, including looking at the market to see when a good refinancing opportunity is. Proceeding with or amending your exit strategy. And I feel like those emails contain a ton of really honest and detailed information. So we know what's going on. And, throughout the process, throughout the term of the investment, I just think it's crucial because a lot of times with investments, you can go for long periods of time. You don't know if things are sort of going well or going not so well. But here, we know all the information, and we see clearly how you all are sort of able to pivot based on market conditions and, in an effort to maximize, the end result, the exit strategy, the sale of the building. So I would say that communication is the most valuable. In addition to the communication that comes when we're first learning about the investment. But really the progress reports are invaluable.
Yeah, and then we've been involved with Kenwood for at least the last 15 years. And in that amount of time, there's enough market issues that can occur that kind of tests how Kenwood can fluctuate and adapt to those issues, and so including the COVID pandemic, which I already mentioned. And so that kind of shows that Kenwood is time tested, and they've been through tough times, and they adapted with agility and have been able to move forward. And we'll see how things are going to go in the future now with some of the financial things that are occurring currently. And I'm sure Kenwood is ready to answer those issues also as that comes along.
Wow. Well, this has been fantastic information, John and Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your time. If you are a potential investor and you have any interest in learning more about Kenwood, please go to our website, www.kenwoodmgt.com. Thanks again.
Sure, our pleasure.
Thanks for having us.